All right. So as promised, we have a little announcement video here for you, and just want to make you aware of a few things that are coming up. Obviously, my beautiful wife, the better half, is here to talk about a few different things related to children's ministry, and then I will share a few details, and she's going to keep me accountable, make sure that I don't forget anything important that you might want to know regarding services starting up again at the building next Sunday, May 24th. So I'm going to let her start, and why don't you say a few things about children's ministry?
Okay. So if you are on the list of people who are wonderful volunteers for children's ministry, we are going to have a meeting this afternoon via Zoom, and you should have gotten an email about that has the Zoom link and tells a little bit about what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. It also has a very important link for you to click on that has a piece of paper. I don't know if you can see that.
Let me help out.
That is what you're going to want to print out to be able to follow along with what we're going to be talking about during the meeting. It's not a required thing to print out, but it's just something that can be used as an extra tool during our meeting. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be talking about our identity as our volunteer team, and we're going to be praying over some needs for the ministry, and we're also going to be talking about where things are headed in the next few weeks. So I really hope that you can make it for that. I'm going to try to keep it to right about an hour-ish, but we're going to do the best we can to keep it short and sweet, but it is an important time for us to come together and get on the same page, so I hope to see you there. Let me know if you have any questions about how to access the link. If you can't find it, I did resend the email, so it should be pretty fresh in your inbox. And then just let me know if you have any issues.
So we have a meeting. Angela has her meeting at what, 2?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. That's a Zoom meeting?
2 o'clock today. Over Zoom.
Yeah. May 17th. Today. If you're watching this on May 17th. Also, May 17th. At 7 p.m. at the church, we are having a meeting of just a handful of leaders that are going to help us to really figure out how to begin having worship services again, and to do that in a way that is most sanitary, is safe. So I want you to know that we are looking at this situation not simply as, okay, what is the government allowing us to do or not allowing us to do? The government is providing minimums, right? Like bare minimum expectations. And depending on the situation, depending on the need, we don't want to just go with the bare minimum. Like, so we're going to be taking all the Bibles, and I think this is one of the expectations from the government, that we're going to take all the Bibles and hymnals out of the pews, and that way any contaminants wouldn't be getting onto those books and then passed on from us to, even potentially, Emmanuel, I believe, is the name of the Hispanic church, which is meeting in our building. We don't want germs to be passed from us to them, nor from them to us, nor from us to each other. And so we are going to be removing all those books to avoid things that people would touch. So please make sure you bring your own Bible. That would be very helpful. And we are going to be wiping down all the pews. We're going to be wiping down things in the bathroom, doorknobs at all the entrances and stuff. Basically anything that people would be touching in their normal worship experience, we're going to be sanitizing after every service. And so I want you to know that we're going to bend over backwards to try to make sure that we cannot remove every possible danger, right? The flu, coronavirus, the cold, common cold, these things could still happen, but we're going to take every effort to try to make sure that they don't. Of course, we'll have hand sanitizer available. We're going to do our very best to, just keep everything as sanitary as possible. Now, the government has asked us to keep the population in the building to no more than 1/3 capacity. So for our church, that's about 30 to 40 people. And so we are also exploring the possibility that if the numbers exceed that, if the numbers grow of people who are comfortable coming, we greatly encourage you to come if you are if you're willing and able to come. If you are greatly at risk of that this coronavirus, if you, with your pre-existing conditions, your age and whatnot, that if you feel that you are particularly at risk, then by all means stay home. We're not trying to urge anyone to feel like some sort of spiritual obligation usurps their health or anything like that. We don't want you to live in fear. I mean, I hope you know that. We don't want you to live in fear, but that fear is not the only reason to stay home. So if the numbers grow and we have too many people beyond the 1/3 capacity or whatever, we may actually explore having a second service. And we don't know exactly what time that would be, but we will keep you posted. And honestly, part of I think churches all over the place are looking at resuming services in their buildings with additional services. And the reason for that is pretty obvious, that if 50 people would like to attend services, they can spread out. They can have their social distancing far better if we have 2 services that 50 people attend versus 1 service. And so we want you to have the ability to spread out in the worship service, in the pews, and there may even be I'm pretty sure that we're required to do this, and we just feel like it's wisdom anyway. We're going to be taping off in some way. We'll be taping off sections of pews to kind of guide you as to where you can sit. And so if you have your seat, that's my seat, you may have to adjust a little bit to the right or the left.
We won't name any names.
Yeah, to the right or the left, or forward or backwards, or whatever it may be. So you may not get your exact seat that you like, but you'll be close. And I hope that you trust that we're not trying to put anyone's health in danger. We do not want to be reckless. And throughout this whole situation, I have been really torn about how I've felt about the government's handling of the situation. I mean, really torn. There's people, I feel like there's really great arguments on multiple sides of this whole situation, but we have sought to be as submissive as possible to the governing authorities over us. And we're thankful that Kentucky is one of the earlier states to be able to go back to meeting in person. California is still, they're looking at potentially months before their governor lets them do that. And a friend just texted me today from North Carolina, and they're also not allowed to do so. And here we are, blessed. And so I hope that we cherish that blessing, because really, no matter how people feel about the laws of the land, no matter how people feel about the government or any of that, the church, although we've been able to sort of gather online throughout this whole quarantine 2-month time frame or whatever, it's been almost exactly 2 months actually, the church has been impaired. We've been doing ministry with one hand tied behind our back. And whether we blame the government or whether we blame the virus or like, who cares who we blame? But the fact is, the church has been limited in its ability to do what it needs to do, which is a life-saving, soul-saving work that you and I are called to do. And so I just want to ask you to be very thoughtful about that. I am more convinced than ever in my life about how essential the church is for the mission of God in this planet. That human beings all around us need you and me. They need us to be faithful stewards of the gospel. And so I pray and I hope that you are thinking about, as we come out of quarantine and as restaurants eventually start opening, and it's, I don't know, maybe not so taboo for us to have someone over to our home, to have them in our dining room eating a meal together, or in our living room having a conversation. I want to ask you, be thinking about the people that you would invite to your home, the people that you would that you would gather with, and that you would show hospitality toward, and how you might be a witness for the gospel, expanding and spreading the kingdom of heaven on earth through the opportunities that you have. Because, my brothers and sisters, we are the body of Christ. We are his literal presence on this earth to lead to the salvation of everyone who believes through the powerful message of the gospel.
So, are we going to be meeting at our normal meeting time next Sunday at church?
11 o'clock at church next Sunday. I believe, stay tuned, but I believe Connie's class will still happen on Zoom at the normal time, I think.
So other than Connie's Zoom Sunday school class, there won't be any other Sunday school classes meeting at church, correct?
Correct. We're not allowed to start having Sunday school classes yet. So no 10 o'clock, no, what is it called at 9:45? The opening assembly. Yeah. So we're only meeting for the service at 11 o'clock. Thank you for joining us for Show and Tell. This is Lucy. Our old kitty, she's 16, 17, something like that?
She's 17.
17 years old. She's very old.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for worshiping with us today. Thank you for sticking around throughout this whole announcement time. And if you have any questions, by all means, please call, text, email, send something to me or send something to Pastor Mark. We'll be happy to clarify anything. Reach out to any of our deacons. I don't know who the deacon of the week is this week. I didn't actually check.
Christy will post it on Facebook.
But yeah, she's got my back.
Thank you, Christy.
But feel free to reach out to any of the deacons who you may need assistance from. All of us, the deacons, the pastors, all of us are here to serve you, and whether that means bringing a meal or whether that means praying with you, we want to be involved in your life and be able to bless you however you need blessing.